I thought I would stop the car on the way home and discuss something that kind of entered my mind yesterday, and Sam kind of reignited today. Now we're going to play the last session of the 4 session Chronicles of Dark Age of Man, where Jason's presenting. I'm playing Vidar Watt. Sam's playing Brother Ethelwald, and Brian is playing Sylvester Deus Dedit. These characters in the first 3 sessions, even though we originally set this out to be over 4 months, once a month, it's kind of, as things will happen, there was some holdups and whatnot, and but we finally got into the last session, which we will be heading into tomorrow. And I want to read something that Sam had posted when we were just checking in with everybody to see if everybody was still available to play tomorrow. Sam said this is a definite yes. He said, can't freaking wait. This will be the session where Aethelwald will struggle the hardest with whether to stay true to his faith and walk the path of peace and love, or take up the sword in defense of his ward, and renounce the wicked Christians of Dredgewater with the holy wrath of God. Now, I understand where he's coming from. It's so interesting to me that I can play the character and I can feel my own character and feel conflict within my own character while I'm playing, but also the tension with interacting with other characters and sympathizing with their plight as a player and potentially as a player character has been amazing. It's been immersive, more so than any other experience I've had. I mean, this probably speaks to a large component of the caliber of players that we've got at the table. But also, when we were in the development cycle of Dark Age of Man, the main driving component, in my estimation, was to strip down to the bare essentials to facilitate play and very much play in a play style of an organically evolving improvisational style of play, where you could really delve deep into character development and see what becomes. Now, I really didn't think at the time when we were developing this that it could reach the depths that it has shown to provide with these chronicles. Experiencing them firsthand from the position of the character Vidar Watt has been amazing. And not only from that character standpoint, but I sit back, in game and after game, that partition offside of my mind, from the character I'm playing, it is still in wonderment of what is Sam going to do? What is Brother Aethelwald going to do at this moment whenever I'm seeing what is transpiring? What is Brian with Sylvester going to do? And it's been amazing to see. And within a short span of time, at a critical point in all these characters' lives, with all that is going down in Dredgewater and the surroundings and what each of them is having to contend with, has really been a pivot point for all of them. In critically, in worldview, ways. It seems like every one of them, but it doesn't seem like it is. Every one of them is being challenged on a very fundamental, foundational worldview basis. Sylvester, I can tell toward the end of it there, the last session, he, especially Vidar, Vidar was looking at him as something to hold up, as clinging to him and seeing, the strength that he had. And to be emboldened to drive forward. See, I named Vidar Watt after Wat Tyler, which was the leader of the actual leader of the peasant revolt, that they almost did something way back in the day. You know, in the Middle Ages, before it was crushed, actually, at the negotiations when they actually killed him. But, you know, so that was conceptually part of Vidar's the impetus of his character. He wanted to rise up from the ground, and seeing, you know, this wasn't, you know, set out with Jason or I. He set the situation where the Lord Washburn had gone into a bit of a fit of paranoia, and you know, had been held up in his behind his palisade walls, and the people were suffering for it greatly, even though there was this famine in the winter. There was no help coming forth, and Vidar could not stand this. The only person that he saw trying to do anything for any positive movement toward that was Sylvester. But it was a misappropriation of Sylvester with Vidar's faith, that finally in session 3, when he was confronted with the facts of the matter and found out the truth about Sylvester, I literally, as a character, as playing Vidar Watt, did not know how he would respond in that. I mean, literally, it was like, you know, a psychic break, so to speak. So I had to roll the dice. I had to find out what exactly I felt like percentage-wise would work to find out what exactly Vidar would do. I knew he could do one or two different things. And so I did. You know, so I did. And that was the first time. But, you know, that was essentially leaving up to fate, because I did not know in that moment exactly how I would respond. So literally, it was a flip of the coin. It was a die toss. And that's what it was. That's what it was. He literally could have gone either way. That was such a shift of, you know, of his foundational worldview that he had built upon the shoulders of Sylvester, that he couldn't really contend with it in that moment. He didn't have time to process what was going down. Before, when Brother Aethelwald, he's been going through hell. When you sit back and you look through the chronicles of what he's had to contend with and what he's had to face, the oppositions he's had to face, and the amount of with the clergy that is already set that he's having to contend with in Dredgewater, and this hold over the nobility there. And the nobility, like I said, Washburn's loss of his mental faculties are, you know, he's weighted down with paranoia and a lot of different other aspects that he's having to contend with in the kingdom that's going on right now. And not only that, but you know, Aethelwald was trying to deal with that on that front, and he's also having to deal with, ironically enough, my character, who was having that crisis of faith that he's trying to. Aethelwald has been trying to redeem Vidar any opportunity he sees to guide him in a rightful path, the more knowledge, more awareness of how things are. But and this has been, to put it mildly, difficult, because where Vidar sits is a Viking grappling with, you know, this initially a pantheon of deities, of which Christ is one, and then he's having to shift his belief system and resting it on the shoulders of Sylvester, and while Aethelwald is trying to guide him down that path to correct and to right his wrong, there has been changes to Vidar. immensely, and especially the way has perceived what Aethelwald has told him or instructed him. His perception is skewed, obviously, but Aethelwald still doggedly, determinedly tries to walk that straight and narrow path and be a guide and a light to others in this decrepit land, this really fallen. So, as I say, he's walking through hell, and literally there's times when he faces things I go, what would you do? What would I do? What would a person do in this situation? So to struggle this with these questions, and to have Sam say, I'm going to be there. I'm definitely going to be there. This is the moment where he's going to struggle. Aethelwald's going to struggle the hardest, because it's going to come to that pivot point where what's going to happen. And I feel very much the same way with Vidar in his situation. I know that Sylvester, at the end of the last session, he revealed truths to the light of everyone. I know he's been getting, it feels to me that he is, while he's been trying to walk that line of being Lord Washburn's man, yet still trying to do the best behind the scenes for the people at large, and garner some peace amongst the whole, while everybody's up in arms almost, even Vidar trying to have a mob mentality of that insurrection and whatnot. And he's trying to do that, but he finally gets to a point where he looks at everyone and faces everyone. I can feel that tension there where he says, this is the moment where you have to decide, you have to stand on your own 2 feet. That's what he's telling Vidar. Not depend on me. Every one of you right here. This is what needs to be done. You got to be accountable for yourself. You got to lead. We've got to come to some realization. We can't, arbitrarily just, hate what we don't understand or try to squash what we don't understand. And we've got to come. So he's putting all of his chips on the table right at the end of the 3rd session. And all of this is boiled over perfectly to a crescendo, a crisis level that we're going to tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a session resolve and find out what is going on. But right now, right when we left off and I had to roll that dice and try to get at a point where I can process a little bit of what Vidar may feeling about reaching in deep. I mean, he could, I was thinking yesterday, he might just be a husk of his previous self. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. The interaction of all the characters in play, what's going to transpire. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to see it, finally wrap up. But these sessions have been a pinnacle in gaming for me personally. Proud to be a part of them. Proud to be a part of Jason and I working on and trying to perfect the style of play that, at least in our own estimation, that the way we like to play, and see it bear fruits as it has. Like I said, I did not expect. I don't think it kind of hit me sideways that the depth of character development in such a short period of time could be realized in this way. So it's really been a pleasure, and can't wait for tomorrow. If I don't know who exactly likes to watch APs, but the Dark Age of Man Chronicles to me are well worth the watch. If indeed you do like to watch APs, seeing these characters struggle and strive and try to make it through these very difficult times in this area, and deal with each other as people in this world that each have their own agendas, yet each have an overarching agenda that is tying them together, that they're trying to hold the ship together and plug all the leaks in their own ways, in their own understandings that they're using to apply, to fix the situations as best that they see, and sometimes come in conflict with each other. And the surrounding personalities in the town that they live in has been amazing. Anyway, can't wait for it. We will see you guys on the other side. All right, take care.